Hey guys, ILene Vick here for Adult Coloring with ILene Vick, and this is episode number 2 of the Daydreams coloring book by Hanna Karlzon. Specifically, I'm doing the fish with the anemones, and this is a continuation of the first video that I did. This is what I accomplished so far, and today I'm going to be working on some of this seagrass. I think it'll be a lot of fun. Alright, so let me zoom you in here. I hope everybody's doing well today. Alright, so this is what I'm going to be doing with this. I was experimenting with a little color. I've got a very light green. Let me show you. Again, I don't specify brand because you can pull your own colors. This is why I identify the colors. This is a really nice apple green. And this is a nice robust green. You see what they call this here. Just permanent green. It happens to be a Faber-Castell. This one is actually called apple green, and I didn't realize that until I saw the name. Ha ha ha. I am so smart. All right. So let's get coloring. And of course, the music that I'm playing is Whispering's piano. Let me sharpen up my pencil. A couple of you have asked me what brand pencil sharpener I use. I love the Prismacolor Scholar. I bought them off Amazon. There happened to be a set. It was either 6 or 8. I think 8. So that worked out really well for me. Okay, so what I'm going to be doing is I'm going to be coloring this little guy in 2 shades of green. But what I want to show you is in the light and dark green. I'm mostly going to be doing it in the light green. And there actually is a method to my madness in doing that. Reason being is that when I go to do the ones down here, where it's closer to the bottom of the ocean, they're going to be darker. So, I think this is going to turn out really well. Oops. So this is what I want you to consider when you're coloring, because I see a lot of projects where on items like this, the color really isn't varied from piece to piece. Now, I've seen where it's been variegated on the item itself, but not from piece to piece on the subject. So I want to show you what happens when we take the time to color with 2 colors. All right, now I just want to make sure that I'm watching to see what my balance is. Let me pull you in just a little bit. Here, let me do it this way. Now, as I said, I'm not going to be putting in too much dark color, but I want you to see this, what I'm going to do with it. I do want to balance it out though to make sure I've got, you know, dark color to the right and left and top to bottom. See, I don't have anything on the left in my darker green, so I need to correct that. And let's see here, probably one more off to the side here. Okay. So now I'm going to concentrate with my lighter green. And again, as I said earlier, I want the majority of this to be the light green and not the dark, because like I said, I'm going to be doing the dark green down here. And in fact, I'm going to reverse the process. So I'll have more darker green down here than light. I think it's going to make it look really cool. All right, so I'm going to do a few more of these on camera. And then I'm going to pause filming. And I'll finish this section. And then get you right back with me here. But there's something I want to show you before I go away. All right. So I'll finish this. Look how cool that looks by mixing the colors in between this. All right, so wherever I have a dark line, okay, I'm going to put a light cap. Now, it may not look like it's going to show, but it will. See, you can see that. And that's one of the things I want you to be aware of, that when you color, little things like this, it does make a difference. That's why I always want you to take your time with the details when you're coloring. Okay, now this is going to look really cool. Now, where I have the light strands, I'm going to make that, what? Dark. Da, 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 da. And when I get this whole piece done, that's really going to show up. And I'm probably pressing, I'm going to say a 6 or a 7. So I'm pressing pretty firmly on this to get this color. Da, 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 da. Oh, that looks cool. Now, technically speaking, I could have done all these because they're going to be light, but actually I didn't want to do that right away because I still may end up making a few of those dark yet we'll see how it all balances out. But look how cool that's starting to look. Okay, so there's the piece. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to finish this up, and then I'm going to show you how I'm going to do the trunk, and then I'm going to show you how I'm going to do this grass at the bottom, because I'm going to do a little bit of the opposite, and then we'll see where it takes us from there. Okay guys, back in a few. Hang with me. Okay, so I'm back with this plant now, and as you can see, I finished it. Look how gorgeous that looks. Isn't that neat with the 2 shades of green in there? Love it, absolutely love it. Just clean up a little bit here. Now, as you can see, I did alternate the green, so if I had a light green stem, I had a dark green nodule. See how I did that? And that makes the difference. Just a little oomph in that. All right, now I'm going to color this, but I'm going to show you a neat little thing about the bubbles that I didn't tell you earlier. This is going to be a neat little surprise, and you'll see the method of my madness in making these bubbles green. Because remember up here, I went ahead and I showed you how to draw in the little ghosty thingy so that you would have that little bubble effect on it. All right, so let me go ahead and do this. So I've got a Faber-Castell burnt ochre, and here's the color, okay? The light and the dark. So I press harder. So it's a nice little brown, and that's going to match with what's going on here. All right. Very carefully hit this. And again, what do I tell you? Start out light, and then you can go back and put in your enhancements later. This ochre is a beautiful color. Remember, every time that you lift your pencil, just turn it a little bit. Looks like that ink is running a little bit from the printer paper. I'm seeing a little bit of black in there. Oh, but see, that's why I always tell you, don't color over the black if you can help it. Okay. do it this way. And you always want to take the time to look at your picture carefully so you can color the right spots and color in the little details. See how that little teeny tiny piece is brown? All right, let me sharpen my pencil. Ooh, look at that. Yep. Nice and sharp. Okay, so we want to shade in just a little bit underneath this plant. Let me pull you in so you can see that. Look how cool that looks. And this, ladies and gentlemen, is the difference between an average colorer and an advanced one. Is when you take the little details like this shading. See, look at that. Look how neat that looks. Okay, so now I've got it underneath my plants. That's why I've got you in my little micro view. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to darken this line, okay? And then I'm going to shade underneath it just a little bit. See how I'm catching underneath that circle? So when I darken in the line, I do it repetitively, and my pencil pressure is about a 5 or a 6. Now, notice how I came down a little bit right there? Watch. That makes for a really, really neat effect, and you'll see it when I zoom out. Okay, now we've got these little plants right here, and even though they're not colored yet, I'm going to go ahead and just put a little mild shading around it. See how cool that looks? Okay, now we're getting a little narrow stuff here. And I need to sharpen my pencil. And again, guys, this is a technique that you can use on all your coloring books. It's not just here. I teach you these basics, and then I expect you to fly with them when you're doing your other books. All right, see how I'm taking the time to shadow that a little bit? Okay, now I'm going to come around this just a tad. Nothing special. But boy, when I go to do the coloring of this grass, yeah, it's gonna really stick out there. Isn't that neat? All right, let me turn it so you can see it. Now I'll zoom out so you can see this, because it looks kind of wonky close up. All right, so I'm gonna pull you out. And I'm just gonna darken this line on the outside. I'm not really gonna shade in, because I've already shaded this way. So I'm just gonna darken this line. That's all I'm gonna do. Oops, went a little far there. Okay, so let me pull you out so you can see how cool that looks. Look at that. Isn't that neat? So look again where I shaded on the lines, and then down just a little bit and around the little grass pieces. All right, so here's the cool thing I wanted to show you. If you looked at the first video, remember when I did my bubbles green, and you might have wondered why. There was a method to my madness, and here's the method. I saw that there were these little round bubbles. Well, these round bubbles are also indicative of the little tips that are on this plant. Well, what color are the tips on the plant? They're green. What color are the bubbles? They're green. So, by taking my darker green now and coloring my bubbles, I'm gonna go ahead and do this. I know I said to do it before, but I'm gonna do it after the fact here on these teeny tiny ones. Okay, look at that. So, in effect, the plant is a continuation of the bubbles. Look at that. And same here when we do the grass. Is that not neat? I told you there was a method to my madness. All right, now, even though I've already put the color down, I'm going to go ahead and hit these with just a really quick backwards C, just a teeny tiny mark. Get a little bit of dimension here. These little teeny ones are the hardest to do. Now, I'm not going to do it on the plant, obviously, right? I'm just going to go ahead and do it on these. Ta-da! Look how neat that looks. So that, ladies and gentlemen, is why I did the overall bubbles as being green. See? Look how cool that's going to look when all of these are done, and it's going to be like it's offshoots of these plants. Don't you love me? Yay! All right. Okay, so I'm going to sharpen my pencil now. And I'm going to work on this grass a little bit. I'm not going to do all of it on camera. I'm not Catholic, but I love this song. Oh my gosh, this hymn is gorgeous. Okay. So let me pull you back in. This piece is so delicate and it's so intricate, and there's just a lot to it. I gotta decide what to do with these little, they look like light bulbs to me. I'd almost do them yellow, but I don't want people to think that they're light bulbs. Ooh, it's getting messed up. Okay. Anyway, so here's what I'm going to do now. Same thing that I did before, that if I do the stem of the plant, the darker green, I'll do the bulb, the lighter green. Now, I'm pressing pretty firmly, probably about a 6 or a 7, because I want a definite dark green. So this is the exception, a very rare exception to me telling you to start out light. All right, let me pull you in close here. Very, very dark. And the reason that I want that is because the grass is at the bottom and the light at the bottom is a lot darker. Okay, so that's a different thing because I've got one of these here and here and here, so I don't want to touch those. All right. So I want to do a good portion of these, the darker green. Oh, that looks so neat. And if I goof this up, you're really going to be able to see it because I've got you in micro view. But those of you who have been with me for a while know I like to do that because I like you to see exactly what's going on. Okay. Now let me sharpen. And I'm going to zip down to the bottom here. Oh, I love these little teeny tiny ones, she said sarcastically. I almost need to look through the camera in order to see these little buggers. And they're so darn small. Like I said, I gotta look through. Okay. So now, like I said, a good portion of these are going to be my darker green. And again, I'm not going to do them all on camera because there's quite a few. I just want to give you a really good idea what I'm doing here. Let me just get like over to here. Let me get over to here roughly, because I want to show you what I want to do with the light green now. Okay, and let me pop up here a little bit just to complete the loop. Oh man, that looks so cool. All right, let me, boy, that's so funny through the camera. You can really see where I missed. Woo! Okay. Look at that. Is that not cool? So what's going to happen now is my in-betweens will be the lighter green. And then I'm going to do that little opposite thingy on this as well, that when I do the dark green, I'll do the light on the top. Like I said, I still haven't decided what I'm going to do with those bulbs, but I'm starting to think orange. We'll see. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and work my way and do the rest of these little teeny tiny guys. Haven't done the burst yet. Got to think about that. And then I've got to do the fish, and I'll finish the bubbles off camera, because I showed you that on the other video how to do that. So I'm really happy with this. I think it's turning out well. And like I always tell you, I don't know what those, oh, those are speckles. Okay, the author put them there. Like I've always told you, if I'm coloring something and I see it starting to go south on me, I'll tell you. But anyway, I hope that you're intrigued about what I did with these bubbles and what the method of my madness was, that the bubbles are in fact an extension of the plant, and then they get really big into real bubbles. I just thought that was so cool, and I thought you would get a kick out of that. All right, guys, so I'm going to pause you again, and I will be back in a few. Okay, guys, I'm back. And as you can see, I have finished all the green seaweed tendrils, whatever you want to call them. And the thing that I am working on now are the round orbs. I went ahead and colored the little dots and little tips purple, and I'm highlighting with a pink and an orange. Now, one thing I wanted to point out is this is a very involved seascape. There's just a lot of detail to it. And if you feel like you're a little overwhelmed with it, the thing to do is just to do similar pieces one at a time. So I'm going through now, and I'm going to do all the orbs, and then that's going to leave these little squishy things, which I haven't decided yet what I'm going to do. And then I'll have these things, and then the fish, and I'll be finishing the bubbles as well. All right, so let's talk about the orbs a little bit. I'll get my paper towel. And what you want to do with these is you just want to very lightly color in. And then go ahead and darken one side of it, and that'll give a little bit of a dimensional effect. Okay, see how I'm doing that? All right, I'm gonna pull you down just a little bit. So I'm gonna move around a little bit and alternate. And then eventually I'll come back with my blender pencil. Locate that and get rid of the color on the tip of it. And I'm going to go ahead and blend that, just soften that a little bit. There we go. And that way there's not such that roughness. So I've decided to alternate with orange and pink because that's going to pick up the colors, seascape colors. And let's go ahead and darken that side. Okay. So basically now all I'm doing is I'm alternating the orange and my pink. And if it's too small, then just go ahead and make it a solid color. Don't worry about highlighting it on the one side. Let's see here. Now these things, it looks like there's a center dot and then these things coming off the side. So there we just need to be really careful that we don't accidentally color something that we shouldn't. And that's going to get a little dicey on the bottom, but that's okay. I'm not worried about that right now. So the center dot is purple. So basically I'm working with pink, purple, and orange here. And I think that gives a really nice seascape color because I've got that fleshy orangey color up here. So it'll translate well over the whole thing. I'll pull out in a little bit and show you. Let's see here. And I'll go over these with my blender pencil afterwards. I just want to get the color in there. Okay, I'm going to hold off on this right now because I'm not sure what this is right here. So let me get these colored. main thing that I want you to see, which is why I've got you close up, is you lightly color in the color. Okay, and then you go ahead and add your side color there. All right. And again, I'll be going over this with my blender pencil just to smooth that out. So this is going to be really colorful in the bottom, and that'll be really neat. All right, so my other pencil that I'm using is the pink. So let me go ahead and do a few of these in pink for you. Yeah, that's looking really great. Grab my pen here. I'm not sure what these round things are. I think they're sea urchins, but I'm not 100% sure. So at this point, they are just colorful blobs. Now, notice one thing that I'm doing, and I'll do it over here. Actually, I'll do it right over here. Is I'm varying the intensity of the color of the round thing. So that'll be a bright orange right there. This will be the orange that's got the dimension thing on it. Let's see here. So that gives you another color option, is to go with the darker color. Let me sharpen here. I'm just going to do one more and then I'm going to pull out. Okay, that looks good. Let me do one more here, and then these other two will be pink. And again, I want you to notice the detail that I did, that if I colored in a dark bottom, I did the light dot. And if I did the light bottom, I did the dark dot. And so that really is making a beautiful, beautiful effect here. So let me pull you out here so you can see. There you go. There's the overall. Get you up a little more here. So you can see how colorful this is going to be. You can see why I selected the orange to pick up this color and the pink to pick up this color. So it's all gonna tie in, and then I'll figure out something for that little grassy stuff down in the bottom. Probably a darker green. I'm not sure yet what I'm gonna do. And then the last thing that I have to do, not have to do, is this burst here. So let me get this bottom done, get these guys done. Then I'll do the burst, and then I'll do the rest of the fish, and we can, and these little guys, and then we can wrap this up. All right, guys, back in a few. Stay with me. Okay, back again. And now I have all the greenery colored in. I have all the little orangey, pinky things colored in. And now I'm going to do the little baskets. I just call them baskets. I'm going to show you how to take care of the shading to make them look three-dimensional like I did. Sweet. All right. So let's get going again. First thing I'm going to do is go ahead and do now what's left over along the bottom, which is this little grassy, seaweedy stuff. And I'm using a particularly dark green because I want it darker than the two of these. And this will be the green. I'm sorry, I misspoke. I want this lighter green because I've got dark greens here, so this is a bluish green. And I want to go ahead and differentiate that grass. All right, so let me sharpen my pencil. Let's see here. I really hope that you guys are learning a lot. Yeah, that'll look good for this final set here. And this will be a nice little intermingling color. Let me sharpen up here. See what you think about this. Point just broke. All right, let me see something here. Okay. Now, I'm not worried about any particular shading technique because the grass is small enough and the color is dark enough that it would be very difficult to do. So I'm just going to let the color be what makes it stand out. So I'm going to go ahead and zip this across. And you can see how nice this is starting to pop up. And like I said, I didn't want a color that would be the same as the grass, but I didn't want it to disappear either. Okay, and let me sharpen. You can see how nice that's all coming together. I'm going to go ahead and pull you out so you can get a really nice overview. Yeah, I think this is going to look really good, this grass. And with it having the bluish, greenish coloring, that fits the bubbles and it fits the greenery that I've already got. All right, let me hit that with my brush. Oop, got a baldy spot over here. There we go. Okay. And you can see how it merges in here with the other colors, but it also stands out. Okay, now you can see as I've been sliding across how I took care of one of these buckets. That's the best name I can come up with it. But isn't that beautiful? Got a little touch of purple, which complements the purple that I have in here. So we've got nice tie-ins with all the colors that I'm using. Oh yeah. So I'm going to go ahead and pull you out, let you see what's going on with this. We're in good shape. All right, let's work on these little purple bucket thingies. Then I have the burst here, and then I've got the fish, and we will be done. Okay, so as you can see, I've already started on the purple, and I simply have two purple pencils. I have a medium and a dark. This is the medium that I'm working on right now. The dark is inside to really accentuate that fact that there's got depth to it. And now I'm just going to blend over the lines here. And as that line disappears, that tells you that you've got a good blend going. So the lighter purple was used on the outside of this, the darker purple on the inside, with the lighter purple up here. Oh yeah, that looks sweet. And see guys, that's what I've always told you about blending. You don't want to see a distinct blending line, okay? All right, so I'm going to take a little bit of water, and then I'm going to color one more bucket so you can see how it's done, how I did it. And then I'm going to go ahead and finish that off camera. All right. So what I did is I took my lightest purple and very, very lightly colored in. And that's a little darker right there because I accidentally picked up my darker purple. Oh, yeah. So here, give me a second. Let me erase that boo-boo. Whoop. There we go. Gone. So I'm going to color that all the way up to the top. And I'm also going to color inside of the black areas that I outlined with my Pilot pens, because they give the most solid black rather than using pencil. And also when I did my fish, I outlined that with my Pilot pen as well. And I will have you know the purple is my favorite color, which is neither here nor there, just telling you. All right, so now I'm going to go ahead and color inside here. Notice I'm using little circles. And then I'm going to use I'm just going to go ahead and do this right now, my darker purple. Which gives the beautiful illusion of depth that you're looking down into that open area. And now I'm going to go back to my lighter purple after I sharpen. And now I'm going to go back over the area that I started my lighter purple out with. What do I always tell you? Start your coloring out light so you can make shade decisions as you go along. And I'm not pressing hard. Remember, I'm making the shade by repeated coverage. And really, if you think about that, that saves on pencil points, because if you push too hard, you break them. So there's another good reason why to not initially press hard. So see, I'm saving you money. Okay. It is looking so cool. Okay, now this one is eventually going to look like this one. See how beautiful that blend is? All right, watch how I do that. So now what I'm going to do is I've taken off the pressure, and now I'm just going to go right over where I ended the darker purple. And what that does is it makes that distinguishing line between the two shades go away. And that, ladies and gentlemen, is how you blend. And you can also hit it with your finger or a blending pencil if you need to. All right, and one more thing I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and hit these lines. And then I'm just going to come out just a little bit. Look how that depth shows up. Isn't that neat? Okay, now on this side, because the curve is going this way, I'm going to go ahead and bring my color in this way. There you go. Now I've got a nice subtle purple there with those two shapes. The two that I've colored, let me pull you out so you can see. Look how neat that looks. So here's what I'm going to do actually is I'm going to go ahead and end the video right here for now. And the last video will be this little guy here and my fish. Because I'm really getting some length on this one. So I think we'll be good to go on it. But look how gorgeous that looks. The variety of color. Everything ties in together. Let me pull you out just a little further. There you go. How's that looking? The depth looks great. The blue looks great. Got a little lighter of the blue going at the top. Got to finish my bubbles. I'll finish my little purple, whatever these are. And then I'll be doing the little burst in the fish on the next video. So yeah, I'm happy with it. I think it came together well. And then you can see, if you were wondering why I used the orange and the red on these round little teeny things, which I don't know what they are, that's because I have orange and red here, so it pulls together nicely. So we've got some really good balance going. And that's one thing, is if you use a color somewhere, try to use it somewhere else just to balance out your page. That's a tip for somebody, just in case you didn't know that. All right, guys, I hope that you learned something. I hope you had fun. Thank you so much for spending time with me. This is ILene Vick for Adult Coloring with ILene Vick. Thank you so much for your time. Please subscribe so I can get up to 1,000 and do some live coloring. I'd love to do that for you. All right, guys, that's it. Joyous coloring. Bye.